Welcome back, Summoners, to another episode of Summoners War Chronicles Monster Spotlight. Today we have Hina, the Wind Amazon. Let's go ahead and dive right on into her kit, shall we? So, starting off, she is another monster with a rare ability on her basic attack. Granted, it's not a big one, but, I mean, hey, she's got something special. So being a ranged DPS archer type, she does scale off of attack damage. However, the extra ability there is if the target is affected by electric shock, she gets an extra 50% damage on her basic attack. At level 1, it's 50%, and that continues through level 8. However, her basic attack damage, like any other monster, does scale hard as you level it up. Unfortunately, with Hina, I haven't been able to work on her nearly as much as I'd like to, being that there are 5 Amazons, and I do actually have all 5. It's been rough trying to get them all skilled up, and I've been focusing one after the other. However, that doesn't mean I love her any less. She definitely helped me through some shit, and we'll get into that in a bit. Moving on to her first ability, she has a Silence. Which is just, oh my god, it's so helpful. I actually used her at about where she's at now, for the Trials of Ascension floor 200, on the first rotation, and it helped me get through it. It honestly, that Silence came in super clutch, even though it's only a 33% chance to a 45% chance, on this ability. That being said, she does attack 4 times in a small area, and each hit has the chance to apply that Silence. The Silence doesn't last very long, being anywhere from 5 to 7 seconds, so it's very key to time that right and make the most of it. That being said, it does cost 5 mana, which also makes it very key on when to use it when she's your Soul Link monster. So if you know the enemy's attack pattern, use that to your advantage. If you know something big is coming up that you can stop with a Silence, that's when you use it. Don't just use it because you have the mana. But Silence is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Any skills that you would spend mana for, or if it's a boss that they activate at a certain time, silences them. They can't be used. So it makes her a counter to a lot of monsters for a lot of different... Oh, excuse me. Happened in the last video, too. I'm so sorry. It makes her a counter to a lot of things. Maybe not the perfect counter, but it's something. Silence will stop things like continuous heal from being activated on somebody, say, like Wusa. He won't be able to activate his shield, his immunity... anything that requires the skill to be activated. I don't know why I keep stating that over and over. I'm just a bit flustered, as Amazons are just my favorite thing. Moving on to her next ability, she, just like her variant sisters, has that retreat shot in there. She also applies 1 level of electric shock, making her basic attack a little more viable, especially if she's the only one on your team that is applying that electric shock. The retreat shot has a 50 to a 62% chance to activate the push ability on it, where it will push a monster just a few feet and kind of sort of stun them during this process, giving you roughly 1 full second to just get in there and swing on them before they go back to attacking and doing what they do. Retreat shot is activated when she uses the ability while within 5 meters of the enemy target. When she's in that area and uses this ability, she will jump back, I want to say about 5 meters, activate retreat shot, deal that extra damage, and then continue on to her other stuff. Electric shock lasts for anywhere from 7 to 11 seconds. So that'll give her, anywhere from 7 to 11 seconds in which she can use that basic attack to deal that extra damage and just absolutely wreck monsters. Moving on into her runes, just like her variant sisters, for the most part, you definitely need that accuracy. You certainly need that attack speed, that crit rate, crit damage, attack, and precision. It's a lot of stats. So, that swift, fatal, rage, one of those with a blade. If you're having trouble with accuracy, then maybe do a focus instead, or 2 or 3, whichever you want to do. But those would be the sets that help her the most, or even the assemble runes for that precision. However, they come with such a high natural precision rate, you end up not needing too terribly much to help them out to cover that precision versus evasion scenario. That being said, there are a few cleaves out there that have built up their evasion quite a bit, making it a pain in the butt to land your hits on anything but your abilities. That being said, I've also seen a few support monsters like Kona that have a high evasion. So keep in mind, precision is definitely something to have. Like I said before, I used her in the Trial of Ascension. She was absolutely great against Azazel, even though with how I built her and her not having the greatest of powers right now, she died in one hit. But she managed to do her job, get that silence off, and allow the party to get in there and finish off Azazel. Again, silence is a crowd control effect, so a lot of bosses are going to end up being immune to it, so it's key to look at each individual boss and their kit and see what they're passively immune to and what they're not. So the silence is going to be situational against, the bosses in Path of Adventure, Subjugation, Kairos, but she is definitely useful for things like PvP to keep the enemies from activating their skills, or the Trials of Ascension, the Spires of Ascension, both Celestial and Wind. She makes a good fit for a lot of the time, just because those silences will prevent the enemies from using their skills, which will prevent them from getting buffs or dealing a lot of damage, if not both. That's all I have for Hina. Remember to let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to catch me live, my Twitch is going to be in the description below. I stream just about every day at noon Central, usually with my head cut off because I have very little focus and I tend to jump from one task to another without thinking about it. If you also want to help the channel grow, get a little bit better production value, and a few more monsters to help test out, my PayPal's in the description below as well. Other than that, y'all have a wonderful day, evening, morning, wherever you are, whenever you may be watching this. And remember to stay frosty out there.